Wouldn't you like to have a fully original, low mileage, one owner, mint BMW e30 M3?
Yeah, baby!
Well, me too. So what we need is one of these.
Mikä vittu ääni se oli?
Unfortunately, my sight unseen auction M3 has seen way too many owners, a mystery engine, a build differential with the question mark final drive, the wrong drive shaft, and the list grows by the day.
It's gonna be okay.
After the initial shock from previous episode on how comprehensive the restoration might need to be,
All the things that are great.
No, they are not.
we are continuing today by taking out the engine and transmission to see what's going on in the engine bay and getting started with the restoration. So welcome to Outpost Garage. My name is Panu and today we're making car dreams come true. So let's begin by removing the drivetrain. Here's a list of items that need to be removed. The first one out is the exhaust. As you can see, it is not standard. First we needed to remove the plastic trim from under the rear bumper to get better access. Some of the mounting points and rubber bands were original and some things were not. Kim had removed nuts and bolts from the downpipe earlier, so the whole thing came out pretty easily.
They had to flatten it, and these are polished because of the rubber. But they had to hammer this down to fit. A quick note. It seems that I'm starting a long restoration process with this car. So remember to subscribe and like and comment on what you would like to see and what you're more interested in, so you don't miss out any future episode of this car being restored. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that the final drive has been changed because the speedo doesn't match up with the real speed from a GPS. And so Kim has this test we've tried and we're gonna recreate for you guys. So seeing what's the difference between the rear wheel and the drive shaft when they spin around. So that should indicate like what's the final drive. So we have marked the drive shaft here and the wheel here with a pen. So now he starts to a little bit of play. Yeah. All right. So new drive shafts.
Did you say we
We have
mark
a white
here
mark
and here?
and another one here. And now he will spin, and I will count. All right. He will.
Sorry.
Mark here.
Yes.
Yep. All right. So let's go. One turn here. 2 turns. 3 turns. 4. So we're at 4, and this went up 1 round and a bit more. So with our
3 points.
engineering mechanic math, which I'm terrible at.
8!
So you're saying 3.8 something,
Yeah.
final drive.
Yeah.
All right, but that's not stock, right? What's the stock final drive?
There is 2 different. We need to check. I don't remember.
Oh, it's like a normal one, an Evo. Or was there an option to have a
There was an
different?
option.
Oh, so there was a factory option to have a different final drive, but since the speedo is not matching, we are pretty sure this is not a factory thing. So it's an aftermarket final drive.
Yep.
When I drove the car from Sweden to its new home country here in Finland, I noticed that the speedo wasn't accurate. This led us to believe that the final drive ratio, which is the final multiplier for all gears, is not original. And here we are conducting a simple test to see what the final drive might be. As a quick history lesson, the original standard European M3 should have a 3.25 to 1 final drive. The later Evolution versions had a 3.15 to 1 and the US one had a 4.1 to 1, which sounds like a big jump, but you do have to consider that the actual transmission was not the same. So comparing the US and European final drive setup is not an apples to apples comparison. The biggest difference would be that the European transmission is a dogleg, meaning that it's not your traditional H pattern of 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and reverse, but straight from a racing car, meaning reverse 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5. This makes these European cars much more desirable all around the world. Next up, we are detaching the drive shaft, removing all fluids and taking out the transmission. Let's start with some heat shields and the flex disc, aka the Quibo.
Faster.
Faster.
My daily job, we also use always like Milwaukee tools.
Very good.
No, we are not allowed to use any electrical tools. Everything by hand.
You talk about the aircraft
Huh?
when you're fixing
Yeah.
airplanes. So you can't use electric tools?
No.
Why? So that means whenever he's tightening some bolts on the Delta Airlines, he's doing it good and tight.
Hyvä. Täällä on tänne eläimen hämähäkin pesä. Ei kun se olikin tommonen, mikä se on, laavakuula, mitä ne on?
So he's taking, opening the bolts for the Quibo or flex disc. I'm figuring out how to get these down, and then he's going to also open these nuts and bolts from the diff so we can drop the axle or drive shaft maybe. So this part, which is the other way around in the E46 M3, this had broken down because I guess someone had used too much force to tighten it down, but nothing like that here. So we don't need to open these ones?
Not yet.
Check it out.
Last night I thought these were for dogs, like could put on.
Okay.
So you think that's gonna pull out?
I don't remember.
Someone needs to pull out.
Put it
Back.
nuts here, yeah. I think last time we took with the engine and gearbox in one unit away. So now we
Which way? From below or up?
below.
Yeah. But this time we're gonna use the crane to take it from the top
Yeah.
that way.
And it was wrongly installed.
Yeah. Which one?
This one, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what are we gonna do with this? We're gonna take it out.
Well,
from
we
there?
can hold. It can leave it there.
All right. So we
At this moment, we don't need to take it out.
All right. So we took out the master cylinder from the gearbox, and this it seems to be leaking a bit. And Kim just told me that if this thing leaks all into the transmission, that might expedite the destruction of the transmission or clutch or something. So not a good sign, but
Looking at the drive shaft, we could see a couple of things. First, the Quibo was in pretty bad shape, so a new one will be ordered. It also seems that the drive shaft has been cut and welded. This probably means that this is not the original drive shaft to this car. So the drive shaft will be taken to a specialist shop to be refurbished. The drive shaft bearing was in good condition, but that will be replaced as well. Next, we are draining the coolant and engine oil.
all right. Engine oil out.
It's too tight.
Näinpä tullut ihan hirveä paine. How many liters of oil does the S14 take?
Holy crap! 5 liters.
5 liters.
5.5.
That's not much. Well, that is maybe for a 4-cylinder, but every other car here takes like 8.5 liters or so.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna drain the coolant from here,
Yes.
or maybe this one first. open this one and we can use this to aim, you know.
Here's like a proper place to take it
Oh,
out.
that's it. We need to open let's do this first, but then we'll open a cap up top and then drain the coolant. I'll figure out a bucket or something. No niin, siirry käsi tekee, jos pystyt. Catch the coolant.
Ihan kylmä.
I guess this is what happens when we don't have anything open up top.
Yeah.
It comes slowly. Yeah, so everything is closed up top, so it's just coming slowly, dripping. But if he opens a cap up there, it's gonna shoot out, and I think it's gonna make a mess. So maybe we'll just go like this. So you can slide these back and forth, so it's kind of adjustable in a way. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I can hold this. So okay, taking out an engine is messy. I guess always. I'm either going to get really thirsty or I need to go to the toilet. No, it's coming off at the top.
Yeah, on the
It's
engine.
like, yeah, from the engine. And we need to slide it back a bit.
Yep.
Right here. The MOT bar.
And now we should slide it back. We're out.
Oh yeah. First transmission ever. A little bit.
A little bit more.
Yeah, the whole thing is sticking out. Or down, I mean.
Down. Need a little bit play with everything here.
All right. Let's make sure that this doesn't. All right, so the exhaust is in the way.
But just a little.
And now it's getting jammed in here. So we need to maybe move forwards with the whole thing. I think it's now hanging on into the side.
No, now down.
That?
Now down.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's.
Here we go.
I'm holding it from here and here.
Okay, let's take it away.
It's a boy!
No, I would have helped you if I had more hands.
Yeah, we need a witness if someone dies. So you would be the witness and someone to shut down the lights and just lock the doors and be like, you never were here. So we have all this, we have new.
So we can see a little bit there's some oil leaks of the brake fluid.
Getting in here?
Yeah.
So if that gets in here, then it's going to break this thing here.
No.
You mean?
No. This.
Or the disc?
The clutch.
The clutch disc?
Yeah.
All right. So good that we took this out.
Yeah. Bearings are good.
Bearings, it is good.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be a bit loose.
No, yeah, just like that.
All right. So this is something that goes back and forth when you press the clutch?
Yes.
Oh, so the
master cylinder pushes
cylinder
here.
pushes here, all right, and that pushes the clutch in or out or something.
Super.
Very nice. All right, now we have 15 minutes to take the whole engine out.
Okay, let's do it.
1 hour, 40 minutes, and we have our transmission out. We have done some preparation for the engine to come out.
The transmission came out quite easily and seems to be in good condition. It also works great when driving. I'm sure that someone has been here before more than once and that the clutch is not original. This car came with an okay amount of documents to help us figure out its patchy history. So let's see what we can find out. So one positive thing is that this car came with actually quite a lot of documents, including those MOT papers going back to almost 20 years. But now there are some funny and tragic papers as well. First of all, this is a receipt from 2005 when the car changed hands, and it says 125,000 Swedish krona, and that is around 12,000 euros. You know how much these cars cost today. But I did yesterday do a bit of inflation. I used an inflation calculator online, and that should be like 18,000 euros of today's money. So not
12,000 but 18,000. So when I saw this piece of paper, I was like, oh boy, I paid too much. But the prices have gone up, so here we are. One really nice thing I found was a handwritten paper with the history of the car to some degree. So a previous owner in 2019 had called, I guess, as many previous owners as possible and had a written history of the car. And I used Google Translate to translate it, and I'll tell you a couple of things from here. First of all, this car has had a few owners, me included. I would be the 8th, plus whoever owned this car in Germany. That was for the first 1 or 2 years this car was in Germany, and then ever since it was in Sweden. So 9 owners at least. So, okay, in spring of '88, there was the car hit a ditch in Germany, and it says maybe the plate only took some damage on the front fender, but nothing else. And Köhler Sports Racing imported the car to Sweden. And here's the greatest part. The car was sold to a doctor, which is always, every car ever imported from Germany was owned by a doctor, so that's funny. Who used the car on the street, and this is great. And also as a medical vehicle, as occasional track meets in Sturup, maybe this is place. But this car was used as a medical vehicle. That's great. So then it states the car had some misfires, and after dialogue with Köhler Racing, the cam chain tensioner was changed to E36 M3 3.2's part, which solved the issue. I guess that's a common thing to do with these S14 engines. The car was already missing a service book, but after conversation with Köhler, he felt safe, like a previous owner, to buy it. And I mentioned the price of the 125,000 Swedish krona. It actually states here that the previous change of hand happened at 92,000 Swedish krona, which would be 9,000-ish, but with the inflation like 15,000 euros in today's money. So there you go. That's not quite sure when that was, maybe 2003 or 2002. But yeah, the car was very cheap, and everything here kind of reflects that. That's the problem with many cars, that when they get too cheap, people just don't care anymore to have them in running order, then they modify them and so on. So this car has been subject to lots of modifications, smoking and whatever. So that's that. But lots of paper, very good. So we are now, he's unplugging everything, I guess, and yeah, next engine out. And we just pulled one lambda sensor cable through. Someone has made a really nice hole by themselves with some cutters behind this. We'll show you. And all the cables have been jammed through there, and there's like extra fuse boxes and everything there. So I think when we get the harness out, you will see it is a good idea to take the engine out so we can change the whole harness and not try to figure out electric gremlins for the rest of our days.
Yep. Now starts our road to redemption, I hope. This car's biggest and worst surprise has to be the totally vandalized wiring harness. There is no point in trying to save it, so we need to take it out. And that is why the whole engine is coming out. This also leads us down the rabbit hole of while you're in there. The restoration becomes more extensive and more expensive the more the car is being stripped apart. Now is the time to unblock wires and detach coolant and oil hoses before yanking out the glorious S14 inline-4 engine.
They use the cheapest apicos. Mika Liitin.
Plug.
Yeah, they use the cheapest plugs here.
And they did use, like you pointed out, household plugs.
Yeah.
And we have a, what do you call this?
Fuse box.
Fuse box. Non-OEM, I would say.
But that's maybe related for the stereos.
Stereo,
yeah.
Right. Still
some amplifier.
But still unforgivable.
Yeah.
Bit of a fuel smell. All right, that's ready to go. Ooh, jackpot. Can you film this? So this is how the BMW engines, the wiring harness was made in West Germany in 1987. Yeah. No, totally not. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this has been soldered or something in here.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get a new wiring harness, right?
Hold your horses.
Or should we open up the tape a bit?
We're gonna cut the wire.
Let's just
Don't remove it
the tape.
too much. Yeah,
Why?
at the moment.
Why not? I want to see what's under it.
Yeah,
Just this part.
more surprises.
Almost everything is unplugged at 2 hours 35 minutes, so I'm out, I guess. Well, I could be the closest, but still we need to figure out using the crane and a couple of wires here, but most is out. We only did have to cut this one, but as you can see, we are not going to use it. This is for the injectors, and that's the that's the extra wiring harness that was added and partly used, and with the homemade connectors. And
How does that make you feel?
I don't know.
sad.
Sad, really sad. Yeah.
So the big thing is why we do want to change the wiring harness, that we already had things not working, and we'll be chasing gremlins for the rest of days with this wiring. So that's why it's important to have that thing in good order. Never used one of these. This was 179 euros from Biltema. So let's see that we don't hit anything. No, these are clear.
This one is good.
The smaller one?
Yep. But here it's too big.
It's too big.
Yeah, we need to
The smaller one.
sand it, yeah.
There's a file there. Let's go somewhere safe. Varo.
Yeah.
All right, first one in.
Yeah.
Good. Engine mount bolts. They should be the same. This wasn't on this one was on the other side, and this one on the other, and they're different. So unfortunate.
Okie dokie. And now
Cut wires. I love it. Just as a reminder, why we're doing this. These are here. That's not going anywhere. This was cut by us, but still. What happened here? This just came out.
yeah.
Oh, that thing. We need to. This little thing.
Grounding point.
All right. But so far so good. We are like 10 inches away already. We need to maybe push it back a bit so we can.
But then we have next problem.
Which is. So how much space do we have there?
I just want to play some time.
Oh yeah. You're not in a hurry.
Yeah. Maybe if we get the
Let's just yank it out.
Thermostat away.
Okay, yeah. So we just
Yes.
from here. Yeah. We need a 7. So this is a thermostat.
Yeah.
Oh. It's usually like here in front of the block. So that means we can come this way, right?
We have more space here in the forward.
It would be amazing if we could have this, but also this way. I applaud and appreciate people who do this, an engine out job on their driveway. So we have all the space and time and everything here, but I don't know. But I guess when you've done this a few times, why not? Why not do it wherever? How many of the coolant hoses are original to this car from the factory? Like this one you're working on now. You think that's original?
There is maybe like timestamp somewhere.
We need to, let's go through them and.
This is not original. 21.
All right.
Holy crap. 3 years old.
21.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone did have to change something.
These were.
Would you use the original clamps?
Always.
Yeah.
But I think these are the only ones in this car.
Okay, some of the smaller ones I have thrown in the trash, but I don't think those were like from under the car or something.
Yeah. Do we get
by the way, the exhaust is coming with us.
Yeah.
But I think that's stuck somewhere as well. Hole here on the side of the oil pan meant to clear this thing here. Maybe, but we can use that.
Okay.
Right, let's go for it.
Yep.
Clear, everything is good. Exhaust. Hey, the exhaust is maybe starting to touch the firewall.
Not yet.
All right. Kato sitä, hoplaa.
Yep.
Ootas vähän. I think the exhaust is going to...
What? Yeah.
Yes.
And
Are we good here?
Put down. Just in case that something happened.
Mission accomplished.
3 hours and 16 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the correct answer to how long it took us to take the engine out, 3 hours 16 minutes. Congratulations if you were close. If not, I don't think it matters. But here we are.
So there you have it. It's a boy. The whole process was quite straightforward, and thank God this is an inline 4 and not a V12. Having room to play with makes a big difference. It really helps to have lots of space, an extra pair of hands, and lots of tools. Well, this was a great day. We managed to get the engine and transmission out without running into any complications or breaking anything. Looking at the engine and its accessories, it's good that the whole thing came out. We've had leaking fuel lines, a leaking vacuum line, and a horribly misaligned alternator. And as you can see, the whole wiring harness is a joke. Interestingly though, the signs of a built engine are starting to emerge. I can now say with confidence that the engine block is not original and that the heads have been ported for better airflow. In the next episode, we'll be stripping the engine from accessories, hoses and belts and wires. So make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Wouldn't you like to have a hetkinen. And mä mokasin yhden sanan tässä näin. Nyt animointia. Sekään se meni. From the last... After the... Okay, nyt katkaise faili. I'm pretty sure this is not gonna... First take not gonna cut it. And that the ported heads... The ported heads like... So make sure to like and subscribe.